Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everybody is really doing well, and I hope you are able to hear my voice. I couldn't be available yesterday. Actually, was running back from home to hospital to and fro. So I just honestly couldn't be available to update. But BTC have hit our 70k target, guys. 786 Fibonacci levels have hit, and it even just went to 886 Fibonacci levels. So practically, the higher end targets for BTC have hit. In fact, I was expecting Bitcoin to give us that one more move on the downside towards 58,000, 59,000, and then from there it should have pumped up to $70,000. Honestly speaking. But I think we were right on the heart and time frame of 70k was come, but I was literally made it very complicated, and I was wrong about playing the lower than time frame, anticipating a move on the downside 58, 59k. In fact, the thing is, May opens held like so strong, and May open literally was the bulls literally hold that level. The bear couldn't just they literally got wrecked, honestly, shorting it. One more thing is that the overall trend was upward, so hence we knew that the short don't make sense. We don't need to short anything unless and until we see any sort of a any sort of a weakness. But there is no weakness over here, guys. The move is very strong, and what should we be doing next? I mean, we literally caught the bottom. Honestly, I would not say exactly bottom, but kind of a bottom. And if we would have just hold to our Bitcoin a position from 61,450, would have made or more than 17-80% move. And even with the coin margin contracts, I would have made millions actually. But anyways, we closed our long position at $65,000, 50%, and the later we closed it at $62,000. We made a little bit of gains, like 5% gains, but we lost the rest of the 15% positions. But so what is next for Bitcoin, guys? I mean, yes, we got a very nice impulsive move over the night move. The Monday pump has happened. Normally, since last few weeks, we have seen Monday dumping, but Monday dumped. But right now, we have seen a massive move on the Monday. So what we should be expecting here for BTC or for the overall market? Where should we buying it? If you have, I've literally sold yesterday night at 70,500. My 39,000 Bitcoin spot bags that we bought, sold it off 16,800 Bitcoin spot. We bought it at 16,800. I've sold 50% of the bag. It's not about we missed again, my friend. It's like my lower time frame analysis was wrong actually, and I have to admit it, because I was expecting one more move on the downside, and hence I literally closed my wonderful spot backs at 61,450 in anticipation one more retest, so that we can buy a little bit lower, or we can DCA, and then probably we can run it up to $70,000. But even the USD dominance, this was the big support over here, did not give us the bounce towards 5% levels, nor even went close to 5.24%, and then it's straight away dumped actually. So overall, we were anticipating the move on the downside. If you remember, 4% was my target for the USD dom, and it is not achieved. So practically USD dominance is going to go towards 4%. Maybe even it can goes towards 3.85% as levels as well. So right now, we are not bearish at all, because USD dominance is on the downtrend, and we are anticipating, I'm expecting it to continue to downside. So practically no short, nothing. Maybe we will just rebuy the spot backs. Now where should we rebuy? What exactly the levels we need for USD dominance to retest? So let's try and understand. Remember, when this sort of a big dump happens, and when the price starts losing some important levels, very important levels. If you remember, this was the big levels of 7.27, and that was like a big support. So what happens is we get a little bit of choppiness over here after a big massive move. You don't expect BTC to, you don't expect Bitcoin to, just retest the whole resistance. So 7.28% to 7.26%, when we lost at that point of time, we never anticipated it to lose it, or to retest it. Sorry, not lose, retest it. We never retested it, okay? And exactly what I'm anticipating right now as well. I don't expect now that, USD dominance to give us a retest of this green resistance that we have lost. So what exactly we should be aiming for on the lower term time frame? I think we will have a little bit of choppiness over here, a 5 waves continuation, and then I would like to see a retest of 4.5 to 4.52%. another choppiness like this a little bit, and then continuation on the downside towards, move towards at least 4% levels, 1618 Fibonacci levels. So practically over here, I think that's the reason we will be buying the $69,100 Bitcoin. I mean, that is the good levels for Bitcoin. That's like a big, big, honestly speaking, I think 69,100 is a big levels, and we are going to bid it, because just like the previous all-time highs of 2021 bull run. So that's like the previous all-time highs, and I am expecting it to give us a retest of 4.52%, and from 4.52%, I'm expecting it to move on the downside. So that's where I would like to catch the move on Bitcoin, as the overall market. What is important over here is we should not only be buying Bitcoin. The more we should be looking for Ethereum, the more we should be looking for alts. Why? Because Bitcoin literally went to it literally went to my buy zone. If you look at here, the box that I drew, one for Fibonacci levels to 1618, where I mentioned, this is where the wave 5 is going to end at. Anywhere in this blue box it's going to end. We literally went inside the blue box at 4485. We reclaimed the blue line, which is like the range lows. So that range lows is reclaimed. So what we really can expect on USD ETH Bitcoin font is a sweep of the highs, making a very interesting chalk. Give us the chalk, give us a retest like this, and then run it up again to sweep up the highs, practically going us towards 646. So practically, I think right now it's a very, very interestingly, the more money needs to be made on Ethereum, the more money needs to be made on the alts. That's where the money is. So even if let's say Bitcoin is going to make new all-time highs, let's say for an instance, because the overall structure, as we anticipated, we wanted Bitcoin to test 58-59K one more time before running back up. It never happened. We just went to $60,000. We missed our 58K zone by almost close to $2,000, and then it ran back up to 70K. So practically, this little bit changed the whole structure of how we were looking Bitcoin from the monthly perspective. So right now, if you look at the USD dominance, yes, we are bearish. We are aiming for more downside, which means that the overall market is going to run back up. If you remember, for USD dominance, we had two possibilities, and we now also have two possibilities, which is what I just wanted to tell you and wanted to discuss. First, for the USD dominance, we have this XABCD pattern, which is what we were anticipating it to play out, and this is exactly what it's playing out. So if you look at this was your wave over here, wave B, and we are aiming for wave C. The wave C would be towards a minimum target of 786. Can even go to 886. In case if it goes for a cipher sort of a pattern, let's say even if it wants to go for a cipher, for example, then what it's going to do is, as it's going to sweep the lows one more time, whereas the whole market makes new all-time high, for example, just like sweeping up the highs, double top sort of a thing, and then we start dumping back down towards a target of 6.2% for the USD DOM. So there are two possibilities over here, which means that 69,150 to 69,100 is our buy zone for Bitcoin, which we should not miss it. And whatever the retest we get close to those levels, we buy the spots, and we look for a push up on Bitcoin, maybe to the new all-time highs of $76,000. Now let's move on to the Bitcoin. So this is what our plan for the USD dominance. I'm still expecting on the downside move for USD dominance towards 4% levels. Can even do 3.64. It all depends, but for now, 4% is what I'm aiming for, a minimum move on the downside for USD DOM. Let's talk about Bitcoin, guys. Now overall, if you look here on the Bitcoin, the monthly and there is a very strong Bitcoin bearish candle that we got literally for the first time on BTC. That's like a monthly bearish engulfing candle. We are almost there to invalidate this whole monthly engulfing candle. I mean, almost there. I mean, it is going to invalidate this whole monthly engulfing candle. If we literally start breaking above, I would say $73,000 on Coinbase, if we start going above, definitely this monthly engulfing is going to get invalidated the way SPX invalidated the engulfing candle. If you remember, I mentioned, if SPX invalidated the whole monthly engulfing candle, there is a likelihood whether if BTC can also do that. And that's exactly what I think BTC want to do at this point. If you look at here on the 4 hours time frame, we got a very massive impulsive move. Now I cannot tell you that this move is bearish. Why? I would have told you this move is bearish. Again, I would have told you, because the move here is a very shallow ABC, which I've never seen. I mean, for the first time I'm watching this ABC. Normally an ABC, a C normally goes towards at least towards 786, you know, in case of, or maybe can go to 702. I mean, this was the levels we wanted it to give a retest, which we missed it. It just went it towards 59,900 or so, and it just, you know, I just wanted it to go like here, and then it should go to $70,000 to finish the harmonic. If you remember the harmonic that we have, bearish cipher. Now, looking to the structure, I think the bearish cipher is going to invalidate, because the bearish cipher started from here. It started from here, 72,000, and we are almost there at $72,000 level. So practically, this cipher is very likelihood of getting invalidated, and we are going to turn it to, you know, a bearish shark actually. So what does it mean? It clearly tells us there are two possibilities for Bitcoin. Now let's say a very important thing we need to understand over here is looking to the structure over here. It finished a very complex, I would say, WXY correction, not ABC. We had this W, if you remember, this cipher is invalidated with a move on an upside towards $72,000. So honestly speaking, at this point, this cipher is this W pattern is invalidated. However, we can get another W, which is what I'm aiming for now, is a shark. A shark can go anywhere from, you know, 1 to 72 to maybe 1414. It can even go to 113, you know, anywhere from 113. I mean, 75,000 to anywhere from 113 to 1414 Fibonacci levels. The max target for shark would be somewhere around $79,000-$80,000, but anywhere from, you know, 113 basically, which would be around 74,000 exactly. This is Coinbase chart. Bybit is different. Anywhere from 74,500 to $78,000. Now that is a very interesting cipher. Now what does that mean, guys? I mean, this W is still a valid W, but the earlier cipher is got invalidated because we already reached to 72K levels. The ultra bear case scenario got invalidated. If I, you know, remember if I mentioned, if you flip the $65,000 anywhere above this levels, and this is the whole scenario is going to invalid, and that's exactly what this ultra bear case scenario is invalidate right now, honestly. So what are we expecting next for BTC, and what kind of a move is this? I mean, what kind of a move? So speaking, there are two possibilities over here. First, the move on and upside was 5 waves. Let's say this is wave A. We got a move on the downside. We got a move B over here. And we are right now in the wave C, meaning we are still in a wave C, and we are likely doing an irregular expanded flat. An irregular expanded flat, it also goes with, you know, the week off accumulation pattern. If you remember, we discussed a few days back, a week off. That week off is a very high likely of it being played out now. So practically, this was your week off. We got a move on the downside. We sweep up the highs, you know, go for like a deviation, something like this, and then we chop like a double top sort of a thing here, and then we come back down again, something like this. So that is what an irregular expanded flat looks like. Now the irregular expanded flat, I really don't see at this point that the running flat is going to play out. There is a chance of running flat, but on the lower time frame, this is clearly your wave 3. The move is really bullish. Why? Because of the volume. The move has a volume, and any move that is supported by the volume, you should never ignore it. If this pump would have happened with a very low volume, on, if you look at here on the 4 hours time frame, 2 hours time frame, just look at it yourself actually. Let's look at the 2 hours time frame. Look at the volume, guys. Look at here, the volume. The white candle formed here, so which is a very bullish sign, and hence the previous all-time highs that we have at 69,100 and 69,070, or you know, on Coinbase, 69,130 on Bybit. I think that is the levels we will be looking to long now, or buy the spot bags with a target of 75K. Now that level might not come very handy very easily. We'll just have to wait or have some patience, because that level is going to be a good levels to retest the previous all-time high, retest, give us the retest, and then push it up further to $75,000. Now that is the bull case scenario that we have for Bitcoin. This is like a bull case scenario. Okay, this is like a primary ABC, run irregular expanded flat. There is another scenario which is still a valid scenario, because if you look at here, let's say, hold on, trend based extension. So this was your wave A over here. This was your wave B over here. And we are currently in wave C. Wave C normally goes anywhere from 1272 to 161 at extension, anywhere it can be actually. Now that can be a very nice, I would say, and a very choppy, I would say. It's not gonna be like very easy wave C, but in this sort of a scenario, this can be a very, very interesting, I would say, running flat scenario. Irregular expanded flat, I've already explained to you. This is likely going to be a running flat. How it's going to play out? A retest of $70,000, reclaim it up to $72,850. We take the liquidity on an upside. We come back down to retest the $69,000. And that's where from there we go up to 74,673. And later it's going to make irregular expanded flat. So practically, this is how I am seeing the ABC scenario is going to play out. Now with this scenario, I don't expect BTC to go beyond 74,673. If you remember the earlier irregular expanded flat scenario, the bigger one, which minimum target would be anywhere between $75,000 to $80,000. That's where the range for BTC would be. Now yesterday I sold Bitcoin at 70,400. Why? Because I was knowing the risk. If let's say there is a bear count play out over here, and if we dump from here, the dump would be massive. It can go literally back to May opens. So that's like a $10,000 move on the downside. And if we are bullish, we can go on an upside from $70,000. Max it can go to $80,000. That's roughly around another $10,000 on the move on an upside. So for us, the risk reward never makes sense, because if you are holding spot back since long from $39,000, and even I'm longing for like more than a year now, $16,800 Bitcoin spots. So it honestly don't make sense for me to just risk it with 1:1 extension. So practically it's like I just want to make another 10K, just by losing another 10K. So I'm targeting $80,000, 80,000 with a risk of losing Bitcoin dumping towards 60K. So practically the risk reward didn't make sense for me, and hence it was good for us to book profits yesterday. It was really good. Now we only have two spot bags left, DOT and Waves. DOT is in profits, guys, and I think DOT is going to push up. Waves, it's not in profits, but I'm very hopeful it's going to give us a good break-even entry. Let's see. So right now, my views on Bitcoin, this is still a bearish chart. This is a bearish case scenario too. And if you remember, we also have a bigger bull case scenario for Bitcoin. Now that bull case scenario would mean that this is not ABC, and this is a starting of 5 waves on an impulsive move on Bitcoin. So that's like a 5 waves, clearly 5 waves, practically. So how this is going to be your WXY over here. So that's your clean, not ABC, guys. This is, don't mistake it with ABC. Perfectly fits with the fibs, WXY. That was our support over here. And now we are doing 5 waves. So practically it's an impulsive move. So this is going to be a wave 2. And wave 3 is going to make new highs. Can go to 76,000. Wave 4. And then we go for wave 5 towards 80, 85. And after this wave 5 happens, now wave 5 can be shallow as well. Not necessarily we go to 81,000. It can be shallow as well. It all depends. So after this move, whenever the wave 5 is going to end, I'm expecting BTC to give us a very interesting move on the downside towards 59K. A further run up to 72,000, and then maybe later on at some point, I'm expecting it to retest the $45,000. Now this is a very valid case. Why? Because USD dominance on the high-term time frame is bullish. A weekly time frame, if you remember, I mentioned that weekly I want it to give us a retest, and it is going to give us the retest of a blue box. So over here, the blue box is going to be retest on the weekly time frame for USD dominance, and that's going to happen. That's where we are likely going to, start shorting, or maybe look for some good shorting opportunities or take profit opportunities for dot waves and the Bitcoin. Will buy Bitcoin spot backs. We will be buying at $69,100. I've already given you the limits, guys. In case if I feel that we should front run it, I'll definitely update the limits. So stay tuned. If I feel that the lower term time frame counts changes, and if I feel that I have to change it, I'll definitely going to update it, guys. I don't think USD dominance is synthetic. It's not artificial, actually. Nothing is. I mean, it's in our screen, actually. Everything has played the plan. It's just that, as I mentioned, the hard term time frame, we wanted it to dump to 4%. Yes, we were anticipating that 4%. It's just that lower term time frame did not play it out. I wanted one more push up towards, like if you remember last video, if you watch my last stream, I'll need one more push up like this, and from there a down like this. If you remember, this is what we had. That push did not give us to form a head and shoulder, actually. A head and shoulder would have been very, very nice. Just would have, given that one more push up, we would have literally bought the whole bag and we would have ride it till like 4%. That was my initial plan, actually. It's just that when I, sometimes I feel that we got a good entry at 61,450. It's just that we're being greedy, that we want to have a perfect entry at 58.59. So let's say, we sold it at 65,000, we sold it at 62,000, and then we waited for 58K to come. It never happened, actually. So I think the most, dangerous part over here is, if our hard term time frame scenario is, we are looking, bullish, let's say on the overall 70K is what we are anticipating. So then the lower term time frame, we just, even if it stays underwater for a few, days, maybe it was worth it, actually. But honestly, I just went being greedy. And honestly, I asked everyone to sold at $62,000 as well as $65,000. So that's where my lower term time frame didn't play out. But USD dominance is so far been playing very nicely on the hard term time frame, honestly. And my target for now is 4% minimum. Again, the 4% is minimum. It can even do irregular expanded flat, like it goes to 3.63%, and later it just pushes us up to 6.2% levels. That is going to be the minimum levels. Yeah, the USD dominance don't have any supply or demand, but USD dominance is the base. Honestly, USDT is the base. USDT is the base for pumping the market, actually. USD is not pumping. USDT is pumping right now. The USD will come into picture when CBDC comes into the play. Right now, we don't have CBDC, actually. So hence, market makers can manipulate this whole market as and how they feel it. The bots, they are going to run the bots. They are going to manipulate the bots as and when they feel it. So our plan is, ladies and gentlemen, we buy the 69K. This is our new demand zone. If you see the red candle over here, the purple candle, that's where the shorts got trapped, and that's where they go liquidated. So I'm expecting it to give us a retest of 69,150 to 69,100, and from there a run it up turbo to sweep up the previous month all-time highs, actually. Super cycle, I think we were already in the super cycle. If you remember, this is what the super cycle looks like to me, actually. If you look at here, the Bitcoin chart on the BLX, the BLX index, yes, we are in a super cycle, in a massive super cycle. And even if we go to 120K, honestly speaking, our bear case scenario on the hard term time frame is still a valid one. You see, this is the massive super cycle. And again, I just want to tell you all that if Bitcoin wants to reach 484,000 or 400K, they really need a huge amount of liquidity, and ETFs is not enough. They need, lot of regulations. They need lot of, honestly, adoption, where the countries adopt the Bitcoin. Right now, we have an adoption. We have ETFs coming in. US is on the full throttle as well. So yes, we do have demand, but at the same time, it's all the game of liquidity, actually. Everything is liquidity. I mean, even a Bitcoin start dumping under $49,000, as I mentioned, 49,400, things are going to go very, very nasty, very, very nasty. The candles in white is the volumetric candles, and purple is volumetric candles. The The white candles depicts the bullish candle. We have our indicator, support resistance algo. Whenever we get a push up, a pump or a dump with a volumetric candle, it signifies that the move is real. It's not a bearish. I mean, it's not an unreal move. It's not a fake out. So that's why the volumetric candles, So this is, even if you pump to 100K, this count is still a valid one. And that's like a bigger sideways accumulation, just gonna be like a big accumulation zone. We never went into the bear market according to this count actually. Even Bitcoin dumping to 15,000, it was not the bear market. It was like a continuation of the bull run. The bull run started from $3,000. This was the first move, A, B, C, irregular expanded flat, and then run up another move. So that move, that move is what we really anticipate actually to happen. This is the bear case scenario, That's what exactly an irregular expanded flat looks like. Now that is a valid one actually. But at the same time, we also have a bull case scenario, which is still a valid one. As you mentioned, a super cycle. Yes, a super cycle is a very valid super cycle, and which also signifies that till the Bitcoin is above $69,000, till we are above 69K, we can anticipate Bitcoin to run it up to my minimum target of $162,000, give us a small pullback, and then further run it up to $307,000. That's the range. This range highs is going to be our top for Bitcoin. We might not go to $400,000, guys. No, it can be too much of a bigger pullback. Too much of a deeper extension or bigger extension. No, we can literally go to, always the bull run normally ends with a 1:1 extension. Over here, the 1:1 extension stands at 307,000 on BLX. Now, on various exchanges, it can be 310, 320, plus minus 10K would be, the case on exchanges. But this is what the super cycle looks like. If you are telling that we are in the super cycle, yes, there is a possibility the bull case scenario is valid till we are above $69,000. This is very, very valid. Even I would say till we are above $49,400, this is very valid. If you remember the golden pocket zone, the fib 494, 49366, we never went there actually. My initial target was anywhere from 0.380 to 0.5 fib, max with $53,300. But till we are above 49,400, we are bullish. There is no sign of bearishness, and you should not be bearish at all. Even if you start rejecting right now and go to $60,000, it's not bearish. It's an accumulation that's happening. Irregular, expanded flat. You really want to pump for Bitcoin to 100K or maybe beyond 100K. We need that strong accumulation. We need the whole premium zone that we are having right now needs to be flipped into a concrete demand zone. Single retest happens there and the price should just zoom up. It should act like a spring, 69K, as and when we go there, it bounces. As and when we go there, it bounces. That's how it should look like. So far, we haven't seen 69K being holding since, we started breaking the previous all-time highs. We never seen that. So let's see if in 5 days, this weekly, we are closing over 69K. We're going to hold 69K. If we hold it, yes, we anticipated to push it up further. And that's why I'm bidding 69K, guys. And you should also buy 69K. It's a very good levels, very tight risk reward, very good risk reward. Your stop loss should be under 67.7. You should definitely long it or buy, at least buy the spot bags. Even if you don't want a long, spots is good actually, So here we are again trying to catch the tail of a move. I'm not sure whether it's going to be like a tail of a move because still we have that, irregular expanded flat on the midterm, as I discussed with you and everyone showed you. This is still a very valid one. But if you are saying that if you're just trying to catch a tail of a move, then this irregular expanded flat is very valid, but still we can catch 8 to 9% move, then 8 to 9% is very, very big for me actually. So let's say even if you're going to catch a tail of a move, let's say you see a move to 1618 is 7.5%. And anywhere even 7.5 to 8.5%. So why should we even miss the 7.5 to 8% move? Whatever we can make it, we want to make money after all. Even if it's just like 5%, 8% move on an upside. Okay, that's what my plan and my idea is. We need to catch the move 7.5 to 8%. Even if you're making the 7.5, 8%, that is what, that is what exactly we should be catching actually. Talking about alts, guys, total 2 looking amazing. Reclaim the equilibrium, guys. 1.04 trillion is reclaimed. What is next is, I think any dip that we are aiming for Bitcoin towards 69K by the alts, I'm expecting it to run it up to 1.38 and maybe even to green zone of 1.5 trillion. So alts and Ethereum are very, very bullish, and they will fly. They have not even begun. They are very, very slow right now. And if you really want to see the more flying part of an alt, I think the bigger flying part of an alt is going to come here. This is where the big move is going to come. So we are still in an early stage of alts. The dip I'm expecting on total 2 is somewhere close to, I think, 0.382. I mean, I'll just go with the shallow retracement, you know. I won't even look for a proper full-fledged retracement. I think 0.5 to 0.382 is what we should be expecting. Yeah, 1.11 to 1.09 trillion, perfectly going over here. And from there, I'm expecting to run it up towards $1.5 trillion. So imagine a massive move that's going to happen for, you know, total 2. A minimum move is 25%. Max, it can go for another 36, 38%. So practically ETH BTC, as I mentioned, you know, I'm expecting it to run it up, give us a little bit more retracement, and then further run it up back turbo to 0.06441. So that's what I'm telling you guys, that, you know, alts are looking great, and we just need a little bit pullback for alts. In fact, even if you look at the total 3 is also, if you look at the daily time frame, we have you know, flipped the equilibrium. See, we have flipped the equilibrium over here. This is what we have flipped, 686 billion. So total 3, basically Ethereum, and other than Ethereum and Bitcoin, any retest we get over here, we buy, and it's gonna run up turbo towards here. They are going to push up to $840 billion minimum. This is going to go there. Max, in case of a very ultra bull case scenario, it can pump it up to almost close to $970 billion. That's the here, 980 to $1 trillion. But over now, this is ultra bull case. I mean, we can still make 20-25% gains on alts actually. That's how I'm expecting. Any retest is going to give us on total 3, any retest towards equilibrium. I'll give you a lot of spot trades, or maybe some scalps as well on alts, but just needed one more move or like a retest. Any retest we get it, I'm giving you that limit. So just be ready. I'm there on the chart, watching it simultaneously, and this is where exactly I am aiming to buy with a very tight stop loss. Here, any retest we get it, we buy. Simply buy. Don't need to be afraid of. This is how I'm looking for. This is how it should go actually, if you're bullish. So we are buying this, guys. Now, few of the alts that have looking great. DOT, it's above our entry. We are in small profits, as I mentioned. Pepe, if you remember, you know, I mentioned one more push on an upside towards 1270 to 1414. We wanted to sweep the lows over here. We took a liquidity inside this. We had the volumetric candle support, flip the reclaim these levels and run back up. So I think Pepe is going to run up towards 124 to 128. So it's going to push up, guys, and after that it's going to finish its move. Near, unfortunately, did not give me the retest actually. Problem is that, you know, I wanted the retest. That was my problem. The retest of the biggest flip, it never gave me actually. The perfect retest, I wanted it to around 7.66 to 7.6. That was the retest I wanted for Near actually over here. We missed this, you know, it missed my limits and just run it up. Right now I'm expecting Near to a slightest, I don't think it's going to give us a retest, but I'm looking for Near to give us 7.9, you know, and from there I would like to have a move on an upside. Let's look at to another alt, INJ. If you remember INJ, once INJ flips, you know, the green line over here, the green line, as I mentioned, the support, it's 27.6. Once it flips this on daily, it will be very, very bullish. Very bullish. I'm still waiting for it to get, you know, acceptance above 27.7. Practical. Just imagine, we reclaim the levels of 27.7 on daily. We rebuy it. Simple as that, as I mentioned last time as well. So once it flips this, we would be aiming for a push up towards 47. Maybe it can even push it up to 55. But that's what INJ, because it is forming a very interesting broadening top pattern. And you can also say a very interesting irregular expanded flat. That's your broadening top, guys. Broadening top. So this is what exactly Link did actually. Link also did a very similar sort of thing. So once we flip it, once we reclaim here, we will rebuy it. Our target would be $60, $65, somewhere around here. And then we will like to come back down like this. But that's what be the target for, minimum target for INJ. Right now it's turning bullish. It's not yet confirmed bullish, but it's turning. We want to see how are we going to close or get acceptance above 27.7. Any single 2 daily consecutive close above 27.7, we are buying the spot bags again for INJ. I will be buying heavily. FET. FET finally going up. I think we literally closed FET around here, if you remember, 2.25. And now it's going up. I think now we should be rebuying FET. It has flipped 2.16. The next target for FET is, as we are breaking out, I would say, on the daily time frame. If you look at here, I think FET is definitely following the bigger plan, and I'm expecting now FET to run it up to $4, 4.5. So where should we buy? We should be buying FET on a retest of 2.3 to 2.25. That's where we're going to buy. Our stop loss would be under 2.16, and our take profit targets would be, a minimum target of 3.11. And in case if we reject from 3.11, we're going to take profits immediately. If we flip, then we will be targeting around, anywhere from 4 to 4.5. That's what we'll be targeting FET. So it's bullish right now. OPM, guys, OP is also bullish. Anything related to Ethereum, for example, LDO is bullish, OP is bullish, anything. So practically, I think even OP is looking great. Any retest of the green line of 2.6 to 2.65 is where I think the next buy the dip zone for OP would be. So practically, I'm expecting OP to give us that retest. And after that, we can just probably go back inside the range and go for a bigger retest of 4.2. So that's what the bullish count looks like. Similarly, as you remember, Solana, any retest of 157, if we got a retest and it pumped up to 182, yes, it's bullish. Even in the last stream I mentioned it's bullish. I'm expecting it to run it up to 218, 220. So what is next? I mean, where should we buy the dip for Solana? I think Solana dip would be very, very interesting. Dip for Solana would be anywhere close to a support of 170.2 to 169, and with the invalidation under 165, and should be a take profit target of 216 and maybe 220, maybe new all-time highs. That's what the target for Solana would be, guys. So that's where you should be aiming to buy the dips for Solana. Lot of also looking great. RNDR as well, ladies and gentlemen. RNDR, we got a retest of 1 to 72 and now running up one more push up on an upside towards 12.2. But RNDR is still, finishing. It has to go for a complete move on the downside, like a full-fledged wave 2 is still pending. I would like to see, this liquidity being grabbed at 9.4. So even if it gets a one more push up, I would like to see something like this move for RNDR, and that's where we would be buying RNDR. In case if we flip 786 Fibonacci levels 12.2, yes, we would be buying a higher with a good confirmation rather than we just simply buy here with a low confirmation actually. So overall, guys, the market looks bullish. I'm expecting it to give us a retest. If we play the Monday ranges, let's see what the price action algo give us. Yes, we have the Monday highs. The Monday high is swept. We have the current quarterly opens, basically around 71,381. That's our current month quarterly opens. Likely going to be, not exactly, but likely. And practically, we also have the Monday mid around 68,800. So practically this level is making more sense to me, honestly speaking. If you really want to go for a continuation, how the move would be, this is your wave 1, this is your wave 2. That's your bigger wave 3 over here, maybe one more push up, wave 3, go for a wave 4 here. And we push up for the previous quarter highs or maybe new all-time highs for a wave 5. So I want to catch a minimum 7 to 8% move on Bitcoin from here like this. This 7 to 8% move is what we want to catch it. We don't want to miss this now. The risk reward is amazing. Yes, we keep the live bits, you know, and I have never, I did not got a time to check its tokenomics, but I'll definitely study it after the live stream. So overall, I think, you know, it can still go to our levels because there is a huge liquidity inside those levels. So I'll still expect it to have a move on the downside. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what the stream, the analysis we have and the plans that we are lined up. Guys, we are bullish for now. There is no need to be bearish. Don't look for any shorting opportunity till USD dominance reaches its 4% or close to 4% levels. Okay. We look for buying the dip opportunity. As I mentioned, we want to catch the 7 to 8% move, which is literally going to come, guys, which is going to happen. So we want to catch that as well. So any retest of 4.52% to 4.53% is where we will be looking to long, and that's exactly where 69K bids are going to get filled, and that's where we are going to be buying the dips actually for everything. So I will give Bitcoin. I'll also give Ethereum because Ethereum also had a very massive run up. You see over here we got a massive breakout with a white candle, huge volumetric candle, even a 2-hour time frame. That was like a massive breakout, a big breakout, I would say, on the daily. If you look at here as well, that was a massive breakout. I was expecting it to pump it up to 3580 if you remember, but now that 3580 is flipped, so practically that 3580 is our next buy zone. That's a big levels, guys, very big levels. So any retest of 3580 would be great for a scalp for Ethereum. It's a very massive move. I don't expect it to give us a very massive pullback. A small pullback would be nice. So any retest of 3580, maybe even 3516 to liquidate everyone, reclaim it back, and further push it up to 4,100 is what I'm aiming for ETH. So this is where we will be buying 3580 to 3520 is where we will be buying ETH. Invalidation under 3445 with the take profit targets of 4,100 and plus actually. That's what we will be aiming for ETH actually. So that's what we have over for now for the market. We are bullish, and overall there is still a chance of irregular expanded flat being played out. Now, I would have been very bullish. I've told you again and again. I just wanted to give you a reminder. I was very bullish when this hold up happened. The only thing that was coming in the way was the monthly bearish engulfing candle for Bitcoin, because I've never seen the monthly engulfing candle on BTC. And normally the monthly engulfings tends to play out, always plays out. And that was the only one bad thing coming on our way of BTC being, I would say bullish. But still, I just wanted to tell you, we still have a schematic week of accumulation pattern, a week of schematic that we still have. And that theory is still very valid. So even if the irregular expanded plays out, even if it goes to 75, 80K, I would say the greed, extreme greed would be very extreme greed, very high. The greed would be very high, and euphoria, we will be literally entering into euphoria phase. And I would say people would just be very euphoric at that point of time and would simply be calling maybe 200K or so. But we just have to look for the wave counts as to how these move is going to end, because you really don't want to get trapped at the top. You don't want to get yourself trapped at the top, with the, like, we just have to be very cautious. So hence we're just going to play the plan that I've laid down. Even if we have to resell it at around 74, 75K, we will resell it. We will just sell it. We will sell it. We don't want to wait for 80K, I simply won't going to wait it. Because what is the difference between 75 and 80K from percentage point of view? It's not much. So this is the week of accumulation is still we are having it. If you remember, we discussed this earlier. This whole week of, this is what the, PSY is. This is the PSY. This is the BC. This is AR. This is ST. We got an ST, and then we got SO in phase B over here. This is the SO. And right now we literally had a move for the UT. So the UT move is definitely going to make another new all-time highs, and there's going to be resistance of 1618, maybe 1886. And after that, a massive move on the downside. The way it pushed up, the way it's going to come down towards monthly opens of May. Again, May is going to be defended. We hold up. Everybody's going to go, for screaming downside, but we push it up for new all-time highs again towards 80K. So that's what the, the scenario. It's like a very interesting running flat. This is the running flat. We can also go for a regular expanded flat, or we can also have head and shoulder. But for now, I think this is very, very likelihood of being played out. So we are likely, for now, we are bullish. 69K is what we are bidding. Our target is anywhere between $75,000 to $76,000 is what we should be aiming for Bitcoin, guys. So do not try to short anything. We will short on it only once USD dominance starts going at 4% or under 4% levels. That is the optimal trade entry zone for shorts. Apart from that, do not touch it. Simple as that. We are bullish. Okay. So that's what for today's stream, guys, and extremely sorry for not being available to guide you to take this whole thing, because it was very, very personal, and I got stuck into a situation. So that's all. I'm here, and we are going to catch this move, the remainder of the move that is left for 7 to 8% on an upside for overall market for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, it's going to be a little bit bigger move because ETH BTC is bullish. For alts, yes, we can expect another 18-20% move on an upside. Now remember, not all alts are going to pump, guys. Not every alts are going to pump. Many alts might pump, many alts will just like be dead. But many alts that are bullish, the alts that have reclaimed daily EMA 200 or are above daily EMA 200 and are above weekly EMA 100 are bullish. They are going to run. So just open the chart, daily EMA 200 and weekly EMA 100. Any alt that is above these two levels are bullish. It's going to have a continuation on an upside. As simple as that. So that's all. Thank you so much for joining the stream, guys. I'll be connecting with you today in the evening. Whatever questions you have, ask me in the Discord. I'm here. Whatever charts you need, I'll just share it with you. I'll just post my whole analysis in the all my views as well in the Discord as well. Thanks a lot, guys.